Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. As you can see, my desk is trashed, so that means I made this page and tried to do a video of it and failed miserably. But what I thought I would do is I would go through the steps of this page with you, show you the techniques so that you can do it too if you want. So what I'm going to do is actually turn the page on this. I love the quote, "If your ship doesn't come in, swim out to it." That quote's by Jonathan Winters, and that's what I really wanted to use today, and I did. But now we will do it together. So I'm actually putting this in here because I want to protect my page. Actually, no, what I ought to do is put it under this page. Now, this page is a little messy already, but that's alright because I'm just going to show you these techniques. So the first thing, we're going to do the water background, and we're going to tip our paper, and this of course is mixed media fun. I'm out of sorts today, what can I say? If you hold your spray bottle close to your paper, you can get it to kind of puddle and drip, and I'm using my homemade spray inks, and I'll put a link to that in the video description if you want to check that out. Very, very fun and easy and inexpensive. And I like to do my metallic, my pearlescent ink separately so I can just kind of overlay whatever I want, and I don't have to worry about having too many bottles of spray ink that might want to clog on me. So now we've got this big drippy background. You can actually use your fingers a bit to guide it if you want it to drip in a certain way. You want it to look really kind of wet and drippy. And I've got a mat on my table so I don't have to worry about overflow or anything like that. And I just, you know, just have fun with this. This is a very fun and easy technique. Now what I want to do before this all dries up is actually put some salt in there, and that's going to give me kind of a interesting texture. So here I have you can use regular salt, but I like kosher salt just because it gives you a different sized granules, so you get different amounts. And what happens here is that the salt actually dries up the paint right there and pushes the pigment to the outside, so you end up with these like light spots. So let's let this dry and we'll come back and we'll do our mermaid drawing. Alright, the background's dry, so I can brush my salt off of my paper, and you can kind of see how I have some really fun kind of like little starbursts. I think they remind me of barnacles in this context. Let me just brush this off onto the floor because I do vacuum regularly, so I can clean that up later. Alright, so let me just zoom in, and you can see that cool texture there. It just kind of almost has a cosmos or snowflake or something design. So salt is just a really fun thing you can use with your spray inks and your watercolors, just to give it a little bit of extra texture. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do, this is kind of a I really hope this works because I kind of botched this in the other video, and that's why I'm doing this over. I botched it right at the end too, which was very, very tragic. So what I did was I printed out a quote onto a back of a label. Actually, this is the back of you know, the release paper from my Easy Mount stamps, my Easy Mount stamp cling. And so I found a quote online from Jonathan Winters that I really liked, and I went in my printer dialog box. I set it up on Microsoft Word, and then I went to Properties and Advanced and chose Mirror Image. So that's how you get in there to do that, and printed this off. So I'm really hoping it transfers for me, and I hope I don't smudge it too much. I bet when I spray this, it will show up though, because that happened last time. Let me try. Now let me try giving this a little spritz of something, and I bet, yeah, the ink will show up, see? Alright, so I'll be able to fill that in with a pen. That wasn't the best example of that, but I just wanted to kind of show you that, just to give you an idea. Let me heat set this again. Okay, that transfer didn't work out great. Maybe this was not the best technique for this, but anyway, I just traced over it with my brush tip pen. So now I'm going to draw a mermaid, and the art doll craze has been crazy. I guess it's been very, very popular. So I thought I would just draw a little art doll. Here we've got the torso. I'm going to draw the face up here. I'm going to draw some hair covering the naughty bits. Just kind of doodling it in there, just some eyes kind of looking down, because that's very easy to do. Let's see, her hands, we just have her hand, I'll do her hands right over her head like I did on the other one. And you know, I'm just doodling, I'm not doing anything too fancy. And you can even have her hair flying around in all different directions. You can even have it hiding her hands. I have a hard time drawing hands if I'm not looking at hands. So I'm just going to go ahead and let the hair go over there because I'm drawing upside down as it is. So I'm really not holding up too much hope for any realism here. I just want to kind of get the picture in. But the thing is with these art dolls is that they are very stylized. Let's draw the tail right on some pattern paper. Let's see. I just want to make sure that the tail is not going to get mixed up with the quote. Now it'll be all right. And let's trim that out. And I really like this quote. I came across it today because I wanted to do a mermaid page. And I searched swim quotes, to figure I'd find something that would be appropriate. And then I saw that quote and I just was like, you know what, that's so great because it's kind of inspiring, and a lot of people kind of feel discouraged, and they just need a little reminder that, your ship hasn't come in, swim out to it. You're in control of your destiny. Yeah, make your own luck. I suppose that is what this quote means. There. I do like the art doll stamps that have come out lately. I think they're very cute, but I have so many stamps I can't see myself, getting something so specific. I'm going to use Mod Podge to glue this down. I rinse off my glue brush there. I'm just going to go ahead and put it on here because this is kind of I just want to quickly show you these techniques. I've already got the journal page, my journal page done with this quote, so I just want to kind of share these with you. I'm not thrilled with the way the way I shaped that tail, but that's alright. You'll still get the gist. Press down the edges there. Now I want to go over that tail, little iridescent medium, I think, just to make it sparkle a little bit. Maybe I'll just go over the edges with that too, just to make sure they're sealed down there well. And the iridescent medium is right here. You usually mix this with some acrylic paint, but in this case I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit right there and spread it around because that'll work just fine and dandy. I like techniques where you can kind of play and get a lot of different use a lot of different products, and by that I don't mean like go and buy a bunch of products. Like here, I'm going to use these water-soluble oil pastels. Well, if you don't have these, you could use regular pastels, chalk pastels. You could use regular oil pastels. You could use gelatos. You could use watercolor crayons. Use what you have. I'm going to go right over her face because once I blend this out with water, her features will show up again. I'm putting it on kind of thickly. The thing I like about these is they're very opaque, but so are watercolor crayons, and so are gelatos, and so are, some of the other mediums of pastels and whatnot. A little shading here with this rust color. I find that the Crayola water-soluble pastels are very similar to the gelatos. I'm working in a Canson mixed media pad, and that was provided to me by Oriental Trading. And if you've had any trouble, I had a couple people contact me that they had some trouble getting them to honor their price match guarantee, so I contacted them about that because they were the one that told me that I could share that with my readers, and they said that they had tried to communicate that some of the agents basically didn't know that was in effect for all those art supplies, so they will price match the art supplies. If you find a price cheaper, they'll beat it by 10%. If you've had problems getting that discount next week, try emailing them again, and they will. They just need to get all their agents up to speed, they told me. But they absolutely will issue credits for anyone that placed orders. They'll credit back the difference, so you don't have to worry about that. I was very pleased. But I did want to make sure I touched base with everybody that may have ordered, and maybe somebody that, you know, if they had any troubles and they didn't let me know about it, I wanted to make sure that they did. All right, so I'm just, you know, playing with color basically here. And I'm going to go in and do the hair pink. Look, I'm not worried about details. I'm just trying to get the stuff colored basically. Get those colors in there. I will be using some India ink. Hopefully I'll have time. I keep running out of time. These art journal pages take a lot longer to do than 20 minutes. And then I think, well, who's going to watch this for 20 minutes? It's going to be boring to watch. It's fun to do. And we're at 10 minutes now, so we're doing all right. I'm going to streak in some white into the hair. And I'll be showing you the other finished journal page on my blog, thefrugalcrafter.wordpress.com, on Saturday, Mixed Media Fun Day. Okay, so now with my paintbrush, I like to use a small flat brush for this, and just barely damp. I'm going to go in and blend. Maybe a little bit more water actually, just to kind of fill in the area that I've colored. And it will pick up some of the spray ink underneath, and that's all right because it will give me some nice shading. You can always go back over with more of the water-soluble oil pastels. So water-soluble oil pastels are actually more like a gelato. Their regular oil pastels will not react like this when you put water on them. So when I use the portfolios, I get comments from people saying, I have this, mine aren't working, mine aren't blending, or those aren't oil pastels because they're blending with water, that makes them not oil pastels. Well, on the package, they're called water-soluble oil pastels. So that's all I can tell you about that. But I just want to let you know, if you're using regular oil pastels, they're not going to blend with water. You can heat them with a heat gun and blend them with your fingers, or you could use some baby oil or mineral spirits to blend them, but they will not blend with water. So I like these Crayola Portfolio oil pastels because they are so easy to use with my other water media. So if you're kind of wondering why my oil pastels are blending with water, that's why, because they are the Crayola water-soluble ones. I'll blend the skin tones while I'm at it. And again, I'll probably end up layering over that again. I borrowed one of my friend's Prima doll stamps, and those were fun. But I think it's a little quicker, and if you know if you can just sketch a little person, and it does, it's, you know, you have it exactly to match whatever you're doing. Alright, I'm going to take a little India ink and punch up the color on her hair. So I got this here. This is also from Oriental Trading, the Bombay India ink set of 12. This is the primary set, and I bought a few pipettes at another store just to have them, and because you just need a tiny little bit, and I hate to pour some out and then have it go to waste, because once it dries, it's permanent. And you can add a little bit of water, alcohol, and reconstitute them, but I find that it doesn't work as well, because when you go to use them, then they seep into the paper. They don't stay on top of the paper. They're not as bright. It's kind of like using an alcohol ink. So I like to just get out what I want, what I need to use, and then not waste any that way. Like, I might have to get a little bit more out, but that's all right. All right, there's another couple techniques I want to show you with using some handmade stencils, and we'll get to that in just a moment. Put a little bit more color on the face. Sometimes you go through, it's kind of like cleaning. It looks really bad before it's good. That's what I find with the art journal pages. It can get really bad before it starts to look the way you want it to. And I'm going to grab my brush tipped pen. That's not the brush tipped. Where's the brush tipped? There we go. And just kind of throw in the features again. Just so that I don't lose them, and just Maybe a little bit. You have to be careful though when you're going over the gelatos or the oil pastels that you kind of scribble your pen tip off on something else just to make sure there's nothing clogging the tip. You don't really want the gelatos to be in there for good. Alright, so I'm not going to do any more detail on the mermaid, but I want to show you how to make some bubbles. I did that on the sample page that I showed you before this. And I'm going to use this round stencil, and I'll make a couple, so just to give you the idea. What you want to do is take your gelato or oil pastel or watercolor crayon or whatever, take a dark color and put some around the edge, and then take a medium tone, like this is a metallic gel stick there, a little bit of that in the middle, and then ooh, that's some yarn that I forgot to put on my page, and then a little bit of white. And I have these this blender tool that I made. Where on earth did it go? Right here, it's a clothespin with some cotton ball on the top and some fun foam wrapped around that, secured with a rubber band. And that is my fancy gel stick blending tool. It works really well. And then when I lift that up, I'll have a bubble. I got some little gel stick crumbs there, but not a big deal. I'm gonna do one over here, kind of going over the mermaid. And you can blend them individually if you want to figure out what you need for color before you kind of commit. And go in with the blue first. Less is more, because you want the background to show through there. So, like, you can look at it with just the blue. That looks pretty good, but I still feel like it needs a little bit of the metallic. Let's kind of go right over that with that, just like this. And then maybe a little white highlight. And the template helps you keep it round. And that's just a moldy oldie template for my stash. And I like to do things in threes at least, so I'm going to put one over here. And there we go. Okay, so another thing you might want to do is add some waves. And I have a template that I cut out of a report cover. I just made some big waves like that, and you can use that with your gelatos. Just kind of add some color. And then blend it out. And you can throw them wherever you want, hither and yon, throughout your project. And I'm kind of blending down just to kind of go with that drippy, the same drippy direction that we had before. And you can do that here and there, however you want with your page. It's awfully hard to get a page done in 20 minutes. I don't know if anybody appreciates that. It's very difficult. What are we at for time? Oh, we're almost at 18 minutes. Okay, so one thing I forgot to do to my other page that I wanted to do to this was add some seaweed texture on the bottom, and I found this yarn in my scrap bin. I thought this would make great seaweed on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is use my hot glue gun here, because that will grab really quickly. I don't want to have too much bulk in my journal, but I really do want to add this in here. And sometimes I'll have like a cupcake wrapper handy or some little piece of silicone so I can, you know, really press it into that glue without burning my fingers. So that would be a good, that'd be some good advice for you. I'm just gonna hope for the best here. Just gonna go with it. I'm pretty immune to the hot glue burns nowadays, but there we go. Just kind of get that in there, and then we have some seaweed. Now, of course, I don't have as many details on this page as I had on the original one, but that gives you a great idea of how this whole thing goes together. You know, just keep layering until you're happy with the way it looks. Maybe you want to add, you know, a few more, you know, drips. That's fine. I like the overall silver spray because that's really fun. I want to thank Oriental Trading for providing the supplies I used in this video, and you can find a link to their store below this video, or just go to orientaltrading.com, tell them Lindsay sent you, and they have a 110% price match guarantee as long as you email them and tell you where you found it cheaper. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like this video, and until next time, happy crafting.